with your host, Doyle Bueller, and really excited to be here today. We're going to be talking about some of the supermodels, the continuing discussion of what they are and how we can actually use them and what are they actually good for. So I'm going to be taking you through that as part of this series as well. And this is the strategy supermodel sessions. And if you would like a copy, a PDF copy that you can download of some of these models that I'm going to be showing you, please just type supermodel, strategy supermodel, if you like, into the comments, and I will send you the link as well so that you can download those as well. So we want to be taking a look at what are these different models, and in this case, I'm going to be showing you what the platform actually is. And some of the last ones that we've done is the 4 pillars of SEO success, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, and a few others, the bold model, and I've got a few other samples that we've done recently as well, the Salesforce SWOT as well. So we're going to be taking you through these specific models to show you exactly what we can do. So as we can actually, I'll just flip the screen here so that we can get it in perspective here, and so that you can see more of what's really important and less of my face. So this is the strategy cam, by the way. So as I said, we've done a lot of these models already. So here's a generic strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats models as well. We've done one for Salesforce specifically, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Last episode, we did one for the 4 pillars of SEO success, which is on-page SEO, off-page SEO, your content, and then your technical SEO. We've done the Ikigai, what you love, what you can be paid for, what you're good at, and what the world needs as well. So we have all these different models that we can actually use them pretty easily. But today I want to take a step back and show you, okay, what is the foundation of this model? What is the foundation of this strategy supermodel in this case? And there's 4 different elements, and I actually call them accelerators, that allow you to kind of really see and touch and feel what this actually, if we can convert a model into something that's tactile, kinesthetic, that sort of thing, this is what we'd actually get. And so we start out with something very, very flat, very, very simple, and we're able to transform it into a tool that we can touch, see, feel, pass along, use, whatever the case may be, so that you can get a better sense of how what your model looks like, how it fits together, how you can see the different faces, how you can look at the different summit, the different apex, and that sort of thing. And so you can really analyze your strategy through this model and actually see what it does for you. And what can it do? It can bring you focus for some speed. It can give you show you the value, how you stack your value for transformation, for that story of transformation. And it can also give you a roadmap for direction. So we're looking at sort of this multi-dimensional strategic map that allows us to be able to better understand our business, give us focus, show our value, and give us a roadmap as well as we get into it. So back to how can we actually move this forward? Our story of transformation begins with something as simple as this flat 2-dimensional shape, and we're going to raise that, as I said, shortly. But what we're actually looking at is one element is called their accelerator 1, accelerator 2, accelerator 3, accelerator 4. So these are sort of the main concepts that you want to be able to convey to your business very, very quickly. Again, we're looking for something speedy, very fast, to give you that understanding very quickly. So we have 4 accelerators that are placed into here, and a lot of businesses are already using these. And you can call them pillars, you can call them value, you can call them, something, your brand strategy, whatever the case may be. It doesn't really matter what you call them, but ultimately, what we want to say is that these are elements that allow you to convey your brand, your business very, very quickly, so people can get it. Right. So if you're about growth, how do you actually use growth in your business? If you're about education, how do you use education in your business? And again, these are the samples that we can actually create and use them to show you specific concepts. So what face is actually really important to what we're doing or how we're discussing it and that sort of thing. So you have the main accelerators, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then within the accelerators, we have what we call our value vector, right? And this is what actually gives us directions. And this is what gives us that roadmap as well, so that we can really move forward quite easily and quite nicely as well. So within accelerator 1, we can move forward with our value vector number 1, or value vector, or even a step sometimes is what we're called. But We want to build this model as a foundation so that you can actually customize it specifically for what you need to use it for. And that is ultimately what you want to be able to do is you have your business, you can create your own model based upon this format, based upon this template of the strategy supermodels. So we have the accelerator one, we have value vector one, two, and three, and then accelerator two, value vectors, sorry, four, five, and six, and then accelerator number three, and then we have seven, eight, and nine, and then accelerator four, and we have step 10, 11, and 12. So we really have a lot of different steps that we can then extract this. And there's multiple levels here, but just as sort of an introduction, we can actually extract these into a direction to give you like a roadmap specifically. And that's why they're called vectors, right? Because vectors give us, what do they give us? They give us direction and velocity, right? So we want to be able to follow this specifically to our destination. We want to be able to create this roadmap that gets us from point A to point B. And that's what this model is actually able to do. So we can see as we put these all together, we also have a fulcrum, and you'll see it as we get in, as we actually put it into play, that this fulcrum allows us to leverage these external factors. And again, this is another level that we want to be able to go into, but just for the purposes of this quick discussion, the fulcrum allows you to leverage some external variables, some external factors in your business, in your environment, and that sort of thing, whether it's speed, direction, impact, whether it's, I've got a few other examples here. Um, let's see if I can find them. They're all here when you need them. You talk about intelligence, genius, and leadership. So there's many different values and variables that we can be able to use for this. Clarity, certainty, and competency is the one that I use fairly regularly as well, because that gives that leverage that we wanted to be able to address as well. And then within, we also have the intersections, which is sort of your internal factors, your internal variables that are important to you and your business and how you deliver that, whether that's through content, whether that's through video, whether that's through training or education, or those pieces. That's ultimately what we want to be able to look at, how we actually do that. And so what we can actually do is there's two aspects that I want to show you today. And one is I'm going to show you a quick little blank model as well, and that we can actually trace this out on our own. And again, if you'd like a copy of this, please put sorry, strategy supermodel or just supermodel in the comments, and I'll send you a PDF. But we want to be able to customize this as well. So I'm going to get that into in a second. But as we can see, what we have here is our model, and I've already pre-cut it out and pre-folded it so that it's ready to go. So it's print on an A3, sorry, an A4 or a letter size sheet of paper. It has all the accelerators on it, and we just simply cut it up and fold it into shape, and then we can fold it into the space as well. So it's pretty easy to be able to set up something as simple like that. And if you want actually it to hold its shape, what do? Oh, we just add a little bit of glue, and we can put this into play in a matter of moments. So we can take our model anywhere. We can take it to a presentation. We can take it to our customer. We can share it with our team. We can do whatever is really necessary to be able to show exactly what the model is and exactly that journey that we're taking them on. And we can do it with speed and direction as well. So all we do is fold this up like that. Oh, just get it in there. And we've got a full glued supermodel that's able to support that exactly the way that we want. So we have our accelerator 1, we have our accelerator 2, we have our accelerator 3, and we have our accelerator 4. And on each of these edges, what do we have? We actually have those specific directions, to give you the focus, right? We've got the vectors that allow us to be able to do that. So vector 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 as well. And then we have our external factors, right? Our fulcrum 1, 2, and 3. And then our internal factors, intersection 1, 2, and 3 as well. So we have all of these pieces all on this simple strategy model, right? That allows us to be able to see exactly what it is and exactly what we're trying to do, to give us that focus, to give you that value stack of what does my business actually stack up to, and give you a roadmap as well as we unwind this as well. So ultimately, you have a tool that's extremely critical to being able to see exactly what it is that you're talking about, what your business is about, how you're going to deliver your value, and what you're going to be able to do with it as well. So it's a very, very simple tool that we can actually see and do and play with as well. So what's next? Well, we can actually create our own, and this is where the full power of the model comes into play. If we can decide, okay, well, there are some questions that we need to answer, and if you'd like a copy of some of those questions, please just type in strategy supermodel, and I'll get you a copy of all the questions as well. But ultimately, what we want to be able to see is, okay, how can we present this in a manner that works for us and our business? So we want to make sure that we have these questions um, ready and available for us to work with as well. So in this case, I want to do one for, we've done one for Salesforce. So I want to do one for Cisco, which is a big company in the IT field and that sort of thing. And their main accelerators, and I've done obviously some research on this. So their main accelerators are vision, strategy, execution, excuse my fancy writing, and then metrics as well. And this is for Cisco. So we can basically take a look at that, scribble it out, and then they are known for long-term outcomes. And you can use these in just to sketch some ideas out and see what you get and how you want them to be able to move it and shape it and test it as well. Their vision is about the value proposition, and then they also talk about their vision of being an evolution as well. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I just wanted to show you exactly what you can do with these and how easy it is to really kind of see that model. We can also, like I said, look at the intersections, which are really important, number 1, 2, and 3. And in this case, they talk about speed, direction, and impact. And then they talk about for sort of the bigger external factors, the fulcrum 1, 2, and 3. That's their certainty, their clarity, and their competency as well. So we have all these pieces together. And what do we get at the end of the day? Well, we get another model that we can actually put together and quickly show how that looks like this. And then we can pass it around at our corporate board meeting. We can all have our at the strategy tables during our strategy meetings. We can go through and create these as well. So we've got a tool that we can work with, use it as a brainstorming tool or a strategy storming tool, as I like to call it, as well. It really gives us something functional to use and to look forward to and something to put together that allows us to see ultimately what our strategy looks like, to touch it, to feel it, to understand, okay, how does it interact? How do we talk about vision and strategy and execution together and metrics as well? Because ultimately this is what we're trying to say, is this is what our business is about. This is how we can actually do it. So hopefully you've been able to take a good look at, okay, how can we actually design a business model, a strategy model that allows us to see what our business looks like. It allows us to focus for that speed, to say we need to engage quickly. We need to be able to understand our strategy very quickly as well. We need to look at the value stack. How do we stack these accelerators 1, 2, 3, 4 on top of each other so that we know exactly what we need to be focusing on, right? And then the last one is, how do we actually extract a roadmap for this? And the roadmap for what? For direction. To get from point A to point B, we need to be able to do that. And that's a roadmap that we need. If you go to a foreign country, what do you bring? You bring your GPS or you bring a map, and away you go. If you didn't have that, you wouldn't get very far whatsoever. So we need to be able to understand those tools that are needed for us, and ultimately give us a little tool that can be allows us to be very, very curious. And there's a concept that I'm talking about a lot in terms of being curious and creating that koto moment, which allows us to be able to see things a little bit differently from the questions that we ask and how we see our business and that sort of thing. So I'd encourage you, if you'd like to get a sample model of this, please just type supermodel, strategy supermodel in the comments. I'll get that to you, and you'll be able to see one of these samples for yourself, and then you'll be able to do it on your own as well. So all right, so that's all I wanted to say. If you if you do have any other questions, please put them in the comments. Happy to help out and answer your questions. If you'd like a copy of the PDF for yourself to kind of try out, sample, see what you can do with it. Use some of the templates that I had. Like I said, we've got SWOT, we've got SEO pillars, we've got Ikigai, we've got a whole bunch that we're building as well, so you can see exactly what it looks like, and then you can see how you can actually use it for your own business once you identify those accelerators and that sort of thing. So thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time to be able to see what this is all about, and hopefully we'll see you again next time online. Thanks again.